Hello there, my name's Lave, and this week I watched X-Men Apocalypse. Bryan Singer is back in the director's chair for the 4th time in the franchise, and the question on everyone's mind is it as good as Days of Future Past? No, I don't think it is. It's okay, it's definitely not the strongest in the franchise. So this film picks up where Days of Future Past left things off in the 70s, it's now 1983. Xavier's School for the Gifted is up and running, Mystique's still out there doing what she does, Magneto's kind of in hiding in Poland, and even though the rest of the world know that mutants exist, everything's kind of hunky-dory. That is until Apocalypse shows up. Now he's considered to be the first mutant, he's extremely powerful, and as he says in the trailers, he just wants to destroy this world so he can build a better one. Now in terms of depth of character, that's pretty much it, which is fine because that's what he is in the comic books, but I just didn't find him all that threatening. There's a couple of moments for sure where he's showing off his powers, which are cool, but all you really see him doing this is recruit his 4 horsemen. He does do other stuff which I'm not going to spoil here. I can't help but feel a little bit underwhelmed. And that's partly due to the fact that he does look a bit like the Power Rangers dude from the 90s. So he's played by Oscar Isaac, and there's no doubt that he's a great actor. I do feel that he's been let down a little by the script. No disrespect to the practical effects and the makeup guys, because it looks like a lot of work went into him, but I do think that they could have done something with mocap. We've got the tech to do it, so why not? Having said all that, his introduction is really good. It's all set in Egypt, like 3900 BC, and you get to see the original 4 horsemen. They look awesome. Yeah, thinking back to it, that is a really good set piece, and it's not the only one in the film. There are quite a few, but it just feels like there's a couple of times in between when the film really does feel like it sags. And the reason for this is because there's so many things going on. You've got new characters that you're being introduced to, you're picking up on the ones that we already know. For example, you've got Apocalypse, who's recruiting his new 4 horsemen in Storm, in Angel, in Magneto and Psylocke, and then you've got Mystique, who's out doing her own thing. She runs into Nightcrawler. Professor Xavier hooks up with Moira Taggart from First Class. And then you've got the young Cyclops, Scott Summers, who's just developing his powers. He gets help from his brother Havoc, and then they run into Jean. There's even a cameo from a franchise mainstay. I'm not going to spoil anything, and I'm talking far too quickly. There's a lot of characters in there and a lot of things going on, and I don't think they juggle it all as well as they have done in Days of Future Past or First Class. All of the cast, old and new, I thought did a really good job. James McAvoy kills it as Professor Xavier. There are a couple of light moments in there with him. Michael Fassbender as Magneto again kills it. I do think that they have dropped the ball slightly with the relationship between Professor Xavier and Magneto. In fact, they do have a couple of really lazy flashbacks, which is just footage from First Class and the other films. In fact, of all of the returning cast, the person who steals the show again is Quicksilver. There's a brilliant scene with him, much like the Days of Future Past scene, just bigger and funnier. And he also has another sequence where he's really letting loose, and it's awesome. You will definitely enjoy it. In fact, to sum up this film, there are some really good set pieces. It doesn't feel as well thought out as Days of Future Past. There's a lot of other things going on with the other characters, which has bloated the film to 2.5 hours, and it did feel like 2.5 hours, but there's definitely enough enjoyment and fun to be had in the set pieces for me to recommend going and seeing it. As I say, it's not my favourite film in the franchise. If I was going to rank it, I would put it somewhere here. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. While I'm talking about the other films, there is a moment which gives a huge middle finger up to X-Men The Last Stand. I don't want to give it away, but I will talk about it more in my spoiler review, but I was the only one in the audience who burst out laughing and just went, "Oh, that's harsh, man." Yeah, it wasn't bad enough that Days of Future Past completely erased that. This was really the knife twisting. Ugh. But I still laughed. So that's my thoughts on X-Men Apocalypse. I'm not going to do an enjoyment tracker this week. I want to see it again to make sure it's all locked in. I would recommend that you go and see it. If you're a fan of the other X-Men films, there's definitely moments to enjoy. If you're not an X-Men fan, I don't think it really matters because the timeline is so messed up anyway. You could probably watch this and still get some enjoyment out of it. So thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Either way, tell me in the comments. I think that's everything. Oh, there's an after credit scene. Make sure you stay till the end of the film.